This video is sponsored by PCBWay. More on them in just a bit. Hey guys, welcome back to brightnighttech. My name is Berto and today we are working on my 3D printed Deathstroke Helmet. Now I'm pretty excited about this. I haven't done a whole lot of villains yet, so enough talk, let's get right into it. Alright, so let's get to work. Here is the main helmet printing right now. Looking pretty good. This file I got from Thingiverse by user Budwin. Now I have made a lot of Budwin's different designs. Please go check him out. He is an amazing modeler. Very happy to work on this. All right, so here is the complete print. Looking pretty good. I just did standard settings, nothing fancy. And I also did a stand, which I will put the link in the description to my Thingiverse so you can download it if you like. I did not design this. Basically, what I do is I take files like this one by Cjbeards, which is just a counter. Sometimes I do coasters, and then I change the dimensions and add a hole for the pole and make stands. That's pretty much it. Here's the back part of the helmet. I did this on my CR10. And you can see it came out pretty good, except for a little bit of banding right there. But otherwise, pretty good. Here is the main part with the supports. Now, I know you guys love to hear the supports, so here you go. All right, you freaks, that's done. Okay, so we got those off, and yeah, a couple little spots I need to kind of go through and clean up, but the chin came out pretty rough, so I'm definitely gonna have to work on that for a bit to try to get it smooth. A little bad parts there, but that's okay. It's going to be covered by the back part. So what we are going to do is we're going to take my palm sander. We're going to go through and just try to take off some of these big chunks. Also this little stitch part right there. And we're just going to hit it. We're just going to start hitting it like this. Very gentle. Don't want to go too hard because you will deform it. Also, there are big lines on the very top, which always happens, but that's okay because we are just going to sand those down. And of course, we're going to work on the bottom and on the chin, try to get all that material off just like that, and then do a quick little pass on the back to get rid of those bands. All right, here is the stand, nice and done. So like I said, basically I do what Sentinel Props does, and I just took his design and made the coasters into that shape. Okay, so this is all ready to go for the next step. I just did the big parts. I didn't really go through and do all of them. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my wood filler. This is the brand that I like to use. Again, not everybody likes to use wood filler. This is just what I prefer. So yeah, not a big deal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover the whole thing. I am gonna go a little bit heavier on some of the larger layer lines, like the ones on the very top, but for the most part we're just going to cover the whole thing and let it dry overnight. All right, now that everything is dry, we're going to go through and sand it. This is the first pass of sanding, well, I guess technically second, and we're just going to get it as smooth as possible. It's not going to be perfect, but we just want to get some of that big material off. Okay, so you can see it still looks a little rough, but it, for the most part, filled in all those layer lines. And what we're going to do next is we're going to spray it with some filler primer. All right, there you go. And now, a word from our sponsor. I want to take a second and thank our sponsors, PCBWay. If you don't know who PCBWay is, well, let me tell you, they are your one-stop shop for manufacturing services. They are best known for their custom PCB boards, but they also do CNC machining and 3D printing in an array of different materials, among other services. But let me show you guys how to order something from them. Alright, so let me show you what the website looks like. It looks like this. This front part is to do PCB board quotes, but let me show you what the 3D printing looks like. You go over here, you click on 3D printing, you drop your file right there, units of measurement, and then what material you want to use. They have so many: PLA, nylon, steel, and then you tell them, in this case, resin, what color, and then they have a lot of different other options so you can customize exactly what you want for your file. After that, you submit the file, they review it. If there's any problems, they'll reach out. If not, they'll get right to manufacturing. And that's pretty much it. Super simple, great way to get these services. Super easy to do. Highly recommend their services. Affiliate link in the description. Make sure to check them out. All right, so here is the stand. Now, I wasn't going to do anything extra besides do the filler primer, but some of the lines were pretty big, so we're going to do a little bit of a wood filler there. Okay, so now that this is dry, we're going to go ahead and do our next pass of sanding. And this is going to be one of the times that we're going to try to get really, really smooth. But it is not the last step here. So I'm also going to do a little bit on the stand here. Not too much. Okay, so we're going to wipe this off. It's still, again, not perfect. There's a lot of divots and stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of more wood filler. Now, we're not going to cover the whole thing. We're just going to go strategically through and just try to fill in some of those bigger divots and holes and bigger scratches from the other sanding that we did. And we're just going to do our best to get some of those big spots. All right, now we're going to let this dry overnight. All right, it's dry. So now, you guessed it, more sanding. We're going to do this sanding right here. I think we got it pretty good, so we're going to do another spray of sandable filler primer. This is the one I like to use, Rust-Oleum. We're going to cover it again, and this will hopefully be the last round of sanding. All right, all nice and sprayed. You can see it looks pretty good. We're going to let it dry. All right, now that it is dry, our last round of sanding. All right, got it as smooth as possible. We got a lot of that shininess through. So now we're going to work on the stand that I did. So off camera, I went ahead and taped in the areas that were going to be orange so that I can paint the rest of it black. So I just used that same orange that I'm going to use on the actual helmet, and I taped it up, and it's not going to look perfect. All right, so you can see it's a little streaky. So we're going to try to fix that really quick. And the way I normally do it is I decant the paint. So that just means that I spray a little bit of the paint that I'm going to use into a little cup. And that way I'm using the exact same color and not just trying to match the shade. So after that, I'm going to take a little paintbrush, and then we're just going to go ahead and correct the little areas that do not look good. Just like this. All right, and then I'm going to take my editing pen, the black pen, and go ahead and color in that area right there. You don't want to push too hard. A lot of the paint will flow out, which sometimes you want, but in this case you do not. So I'm just going to go very gently through and paint that eye. All right, this is good to go. Put the pole on there. We're going to put some clear coat, and that is ready to go. Okay, so have a couple options. Originally, I was going to do a gloss black for one side and then the orange, but I do have this can of blue, and actually I think the blue would be more interesting than just standard black and orange. So we're going to go with this blue. All right, I am just going to go ahead and hit one side, just like this. All right, and yes, I went over, and that's totally fine because we are going to tape it up. All right, so this is dry. This is the next day. And I'm going to take some yellow frog tape. Now, I like to use the yellow frog tape because the adhesive is lighter. And we're going to go through. Now, there are different methods to do it. This is probably not the best way to do it. This is just how I decided. So, you know, if you know a better way, by all means, don't listen to this dum-dum. I'm just trying to get through life, guys. All right, so I got the tape there. Next is I'm going to take some newspaper and cover up the side just like that. And then make sure those seams are nice and closed. And now I'm going to hit it with this gloss orange, Rust-Oleum. All right, and test it out. All right, we're just gonna hit it. Much like the yellow, it seems like you have to do a few different coats to make sure it covers up everything. So that's what we'll do. All right, for the most part, this is done. I might have to do another spray tomorrow, but I think it looks pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and start to take off the tape, which is hard to do with one hand. So I'm gonna put this down, use both my hands, and then you'll see what it looks like. All right, here it is. It is done, but because I left the tape on for a few days, it left some pretty bad adhesive. So I'm gonna have to tape it up and repaint it. Nothing left to do but the glamour shots. And there you have it. I am super happy to have this as part of the collection. It's going to look awesome right up there next to those Batman cows. Like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of villains, so this was very exciting. This project was, for the most part, very straightforward. Just a lot of sanding, just trying to get it nice and smooth, and then making sure that center line was perfect. But let me know if you guys have done it yourselves, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and put in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications. And we will see you next time.